relations and functions. Okay, in this video, first thing we're going to do is talk about what is a relation when it comes to math. Let me answer that by first showing you an example. So I'm a teacher, and at the end of the semester, I have to give each of my students a letter grade. Problem is, I give all of my tests as number grades out of 100. So in this example, there is a relationship between the number grade a student receives on a test, for example, and then the letter grade he would receive on the report card or the transcript. So for example, a 90 would go with A, an 80 with B, and a 70 with C. This would be an example of a relationship between two sets of numbers. Often we call the first set the inputs and the second set the outputs, or sometimes we say the X and the Y. And another set of words we might use interchangeably, which mean the same thing, is the domain and the range in this relationship, or as we call it in math, the relation. Okay, so taking that example into consideration, the formal definition of a relation is this. So it is a set of ordered pairs, a set of points x's and y's, where the x relates to the y. The x's are called the domain or the inputs, the y's are called the range or the outputs. So for this particular example, our set would give us the set of 3 points. 90 goes with A, 80 goes with B, and 70 goes with C. That is a relation. Or another way to say it's a relationship between inputs and outputs, domain and range, X and Y. Okay, now a function is a special kind of relation that we use a lot in math. I will start again with an example first. Okay, this is a picture of a washing machine, which as we all know has a function. And the function of a washing machine is to clean clothes. It takes dirty clothes in, and after you take them out, they become clean clothes. So here's a dirty shirt. We put it into the washing machine, and hopefully, if the washing machine is functioning properly, out will come a clean shirt. So similar to relations, we have inputs. We have, in this case, our dirty shirt is the input. We put it into the washing machine, which is like our function. And what will come out, hopefully, we'll get an output of a clean shirt. Well, unfortunately, sometimes washing machines get old and they stop functioning well. So my washing machine, when I put my dirty clothes in, sometimes I don't know what's going to come out. Sometimes I put the dirty shirt in and I do get a clean shirt out, but sometimes I put the dirty shirt in and unfortunately I still get a dirty shirt when it comes back out of the washing machine. This is a big problem for me, and this would mean that my machine is actually not functioning properly. If I put something in and I'm not sure what is going to come out, we can say it is not functioning or it's not a function. So now, considering this example or these two examples I gave you, I'll give you the formal definition of a function. Okay, a relation is a function if for every input or for every x value in the domain, we know exactly what will come out. There will be exactly one y value that matches it in the outputs or the range. Okay, let's practice with the idea of a function, doing a few more examples. This first example should look familiar. This was the example I gave earlier about taking number grades as our input and changing them into letter grades as our output. So the first question asks, write it as ordered pairs. We've done that already. So you've got 90 goes with A, and 80 goes with B, and 70 goes with C. What's the domain? What's the range? So the domain is the inputs. The domain in this case are those numbers 90, 80, and 70. What's the range? Well, the range is the outputs. So they are the letters A, B, and C. And then they're asking, is it a function? So remember, to be a function, it means whatever you put in, you need to know exactly what's going to come out. So if I put 90 in, I know A will come out. If I put 80 in, B will come out. If I put 70 in, C will come out. For each input, there's exactly one output. So we can say, yes, it is a function. All right. Okay, let's look at a second example. Again, we've got grades on the left, number grades on the left, and the letter grade that I'm going to give on the right. So the numbers on the left are the domain. The output, the letters on the right, are the range in this case. So we need to write this relation as a set of ordered pairs. We know if you got a 90, you will get an A. This is a different situation from the first, where if you got an 80, I will also give you an A. I'm being a nice teacher this time. If you got a 70, I will give you a C. Okay, fine. What's the domain? The domain is the inputs. So it's the numbers 90, 80, and 70 again. Okay, what is the range? That's the outputs. In this case, there are only two possible letter grades we can get out, either A or C. So the question is, for each input, do we know exactly what's going to come out? Well, if I got a number grade of 90, I know I will get an A. If another student got a number grade of 80, they know they will get an A. If another student got 70, they know they will get a C. So yes, that is also a function. It's a different function than the first one. And maybe it's not fair or not nice, but that's not the question. The question is, if one number goes in, then you know exactly what letter is going to come out. Okay, let's look at a third and final example. This time with my grading. Here's the domain. Here's the grades that people got. And here's the range, the letters that I gave. Okay, so write the relation. So we'll say, okay, one student got a 90 and he received an A. A different student got a 90. Maybe I didn't like this student as much, or I was mad at him. I gave him a B. And then a third student scored 70 and got a C. I'm running out of room here. It's not pretty. There, I just erased it and made it fit better. So that's my set of ordered pairs, inputs and outputs, X's and Y's, domain and range. That's our relation. What's the domain? So again, the domain is the inputs. Now, even though I have 3 different points in the relation, when I write the domain, I only need to write 90 and 70. No need to write the 90 twice for the 2 different students who scored 90. You just write 90 and 70. For the range, though, there are 3 different letter grades that were possible, A, B, and C. So the question now is this a function? For every input, do I know exactly what's going to come out? Now look at the score of 90. This is the issue. So sometimes, if a student scored 90, he got an A, but then there was another student or another time where a student scored 90 and got a B. So if I put 90 into this relationship, I'm really not sure what's going to come out. So because I'm not sure what's going to come out, we say it's not a function, right? Because there is an input that gives me 2 different outputs, and that's a problem. So those are the different examples of relations and functions, or the times when they are not a function.